Greetings, 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 everyone. We'll get started shortly. Extremely shortly. Give me a minute to do some copying and pasting. I didn't have time. Well, I had time. My time was rudely interrupted. I ain't gonna say no names. I'm gonna say their initials. Zero to infinite. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me, everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Neil Sector for Women show. We'll be starting shortly. I think what did I do? Oh, I see what I've done. Oh, I see what I've done. Oh well, I'll correct it later. It will be all right. Now I just have to get the link. I don't like this being semi unprepared because that's what it feels like. I am unprepared. I don't like it. Okay, so the link I put in there is not clickable. So let's see. What can I do? Okay, here comes some planes, trains, and automobiles. Okay, it is what it is. Let's see. Well, I don't know what else to say. I did copy it, and oh, you know what? I think that's because I'm not a mod. That would make sense. I think that's why I looked the way it did. So I'm going to have to share it with Zitto. Let's see. And then he can paste it for me. Yeah, that'll do it. Make myself a mod. I have quite a bit of hats, so hey, you gotta forgive me. I have plenty of hats. All right, let's see how I can do this. Oh, you're not gonna allow me to do it? I guess not. Oh well, I'll do it later. But anyway, Zero, you can post the link for me, please, because I'm not able to under this account. It doesn't work. But let me get started because time is limited. Time is money and all that good stuff. You know the sayings. And until I have someone, let me check the backstage. Okay, no one's back there. All right. Let me check what I got going on. I got something going on. All right. In the news. There's always something in the news. There is always something in the news. All right. And this is what I'm going to mention. The first thing, an article I read, it was so interesting that there were two pilots. They were live streaming what was going on in the ladies' bathroom. Now, I don't really know what more to say about this, but just think about it. You have someone on the friendly skies taking you from point A to point B, and they are live streaming from the bathroom. watching it, women go in and out the bathroom. Now, I have no problem being graphic because I just don't. We're all adults. It is what it is. Can you just imagine? These two guys are watching the women in the bathroom pull up the skirt. Okay, sit down. But what happens when it comes down to the wiping? Okay, that may be a little bit too much for you, but I'm gonna stop right there. What were these dudes looking for? That's all I want to know. In the bathroom, you take care of your business. There's nothing really going on in there. So I'm just wondering, what was their thoughts? Out of all the things they could have been watching, they could have been watching porn. At least they have their different scenes, some actual sexual activity going on, even sounds. But no, they decided that they were going to sit up there and watch when the women went in the bathroom. So maybe, I don't know, I'm missing something. Uh, is there a guy in the house that can explain what's exciting about watching a woman pull her panties down and take a seat on the toilet? I don't know. I can see going there, picking her nose, just doing things that just isn't very, you know, attractive. But hey, that's just the way I look at things. So, I don't know, but these guys definitely should be prosecuted for that. Because I'm thinking he might have shared it as well. Because you don't know how far they've gone with this, and they need to have investigated that. I don't have any other details from the story except for these guys were, caught. Two pilots caught live streaming in the plane's bathroom. That's jacked up though. That's just jacked up. I don't know what more to say. And let's see what else I have here. Um, I don't know who this affects, but this is just a little news. I think it's great. Not to say affect, but as far as we get busier and busier when it in our lives when it comes down to shopping, and Amazon is now providing service for shopping and delivering your groceries to your home. Now, yes, that was true. They were doing that already, but now they're eliminating the 14.99 fee. So if you're a Prime member and you purchase $35 worth of groceries, they will deliver your things free. So I think that's great. I don't know what other competition they have. There are a couple of companies out there that are doing, grocery deliveries, but I don't know, how many. But I think that's great. Now, what I do find that a lot of the Amazon drivers, some of them are lazy when it comes down to packaging, the packages they have, and they will just leave them outside. And I don't think that's good. And they'll lie and say they either hand it to someone, they left it in a secure area. So they have different buttons they can press. I really think that really sucks. Why do that? And that's not true. But some people have a job, they don't really take it seriously. They just do whatever it is they want to do, and they can get away with it. And that's the other thing I look at. People will do things because they can get away with it. Why not? There's no repercussions, so hey, go ahead and do this, that, and other. Not, there's no punishment, and that's why people do a lot of the things that they do. And also, I will bring up there is a gentleman, he was 26 years old at the time, and he called the police because there was a home invasion and he had a gun. So he ended up going to the basement and hiding there. So he was waiting for the police to come. And of course, the police came or whatever, and he went to the front door. Now, this is when the story gets a little strange because there's really no witnesses, only what the police say. And the police says that he held the gun out to them. Now, that's really ridiculous. How would you do that? You're calling the police, you're asking for help, and you think the homeowner or the person that lives there is actually going to go and aim his weapon at the police? Uh, that really doesn't add up. That doesn't make any sense at all. So they really need to stop that. But with this line, it's getting out of hand with this now. It's way out of hand at this point. And because there are different amounts that only can be issued in this particular place, which was South Carolina, he was only awarded $750,000. That was his payout. There was, of course, no body cam. It was just, he said and he said, but there was audio. Now, that did exist. There was audio. And in the audio, it was like 1 second that after the officer yelled, put down the, and then he shot him. He didn't complete the entire sentence, and he shot the man. That is so sad. He literally shot the man. I don't know how many officers, I would like to know that. How many officers were there that came to this house? And this particular guy is the one that pulled the trigger. Did the other ones just, decide they wanted to or not? That's what I would like to know. But that is something we will never know, but we can always assume because we always know that for whatever reason we're not the ones that are favored in these situations. They're always tragic, sad and tragic. And because there was a limit, let me see what the limit was. Because actually when I read, I don't think I've written it down. Actually, I did not. Um, the state had a particular limit. And this was in South Carolina. This was May 2015. It was a 26-year-old man. He called the police because burglars were in his house. He had a gun, went to the basement, hid there, waited for the police to come, went to the front door. Yes, he had his weapon. And what ended up happening, he was shot immediately. So sad. $750,000. That was probably just surgery and before he was even released from the hospital. That money was used or spent. But that's the story I was talking about. Welcome, Kara. Kara, welcome. But yeah, that was so sad. I had mentioned this the other day. Um, and it said it was the state insurance fund and it was a reserve. I'm like, ain't that about something? And see, this is why I mentioned that just like with doctors having malpractice insurance, police officers should have them too. So the citizens can sue them. Forget the police department because that's just money that the citizens are paying into to fund the police department. So no, let's not mess with that. Deal with these people individually. And I understand there's a lot of stress on the job, all of that, yeah. But a lot of these stories that we're finding, they're not adding up, not even a little bit. And I mentioned this a few weeks ago. I mentioned that the minimum of the insurance should be 3 million, and Ruby mentioned five, and I decided, okay, let's go with five. Let's go with five. I'm pretty sure that that would cost the person probably $300-400 a month for that insurance. That's good. That can come out their salaries. That's
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. They would think about it too. Let them think about it. I want them to think about it. It wouldn't be so darn quick to show me your head. Boom. This is too much. It's happening too often. Greetings, greetings, Ruby. Greetings, greetings.
Greetings, good afternoon, Shar. Well, not even afternoon, evening, my bad. Um, every time we talk about one of these stories, I think about it, and I've come to a conclusion. Because I would love to put this directly on the cops and just say that they're all terrible people. But you know what? I'm starting to think maybe it's not that. I'm starting to think that they are cowards. That's what it comes down
Hmm.
to. They're cowards. And someone was saying this. Now I can't remember who said it, and I'm not going to say that. Oh, I can co-sign because I looked it all up myself. But I remember someone saying that they screen people out of the police academy, and we know that they do that. But one of the things that they're screening out for, like, you can't be too intelligent. You can't be. So we know that they screen out on the lower end, but what you don't realize is they screen out on the upper end as well. And
Ah.
and they've been doing that for a long time. And I think what they've started doing is they started screening out literally bravery. Those qualities in you that make you not a coward, that make you willing to stand up in the face of adversity, and you're not going to pull a trigger because you're more scared for yourself, right? Now,
Okay.
right now, think about that, because if you knew that socially, it is no longer okay, right? For, like, the world isn't going to sit there and applaud you publicly for gunning down yet another black man, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
Socially, you might take some flack for it and whatever. If you're just a selfish kind of person, you're probably going to stop doing that. But they don't want them to stop doing that. So what they have to do is they have to find the right kind of person. And I think the right kind of person is a chicken shit. They are, and now some of them might be chicken shits because at some point they were brave and now they have post traumatic stress disorder, because they've been attacked or someone close to them's been killed, or they've had near misses in their lives or something. But I'll say the far majority were always cowardly. And then I think what they do is they are subconsciously programming them to become more cowardly, in fact.
Mm.
Um, and so, yeah, so it's not that they are, I mean, most of the time in these situations, these guys don't even really have a long enough period of time for them to come up with um, a plot in their heads. They don't. I think they are just cowards. And that's being proven out because they are gunning down more and more innocent white kids too. The
Mm.
teenagers, who now the respectable teenager in a suit and tie, no, but a teenager in a hoodie, yes. Kids who,
Ah.
like the kid. I mean, he was young, if I remember correctly. Some white boy and got gunned down in a drive-through. Because I guess he didn't listen to the cop to stop driving in the drive-through. No gun, no nothing, no, just gun down. So I mean, these things, more and more of them are getting gunned down, and I think that there's some type of programming that's happening, and so it's like it's not just about being black,
Mhm.
and them being scared of the black. They're scared of a hoodie, right? They're scared of they're scared of casual dress. They're scared of weird colors of it. They're scared of everything, and I think that's what it is. I honestly do.
Cowards. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Cowards, chicken shit. I mean, we talk about this in the regular population anyway. You know,
Right.
the sense of I won't say women talk about it in the sense of chivalry and that kind of bravery, but I mean, in general, I've heard men speaking about it as well lately too. That sense of honor and bravery is just gone. They don't have the same, you know what, I don't care, I'll die for my family, no problem, without there being an immediate threat. The idea that you're just going to go and just die tomorrow. There's very few people that are okay with that concept. They're okay with it in theory. Like if there was someone inside and right about to hurt my children, or one of my loved, yes, I would. I'm okay with standing up to try to kill that person. But you know what I mean? Putting yourself in harm's way, and maybe you might die today, but it's because you just want to make the world a safer place. There's not a lot of people who are walking around with that idealism, and I think that's why they're
Mhm.
coming out with so many more of these superhero shows. I think people have recognized the fact that, you know what, men have moved away from that idea that it's okay for you to put yourself at risk. You're putting yourself at risk without wanting to kill people, because there's got to be a better way, even if it means you might get injured. You might get badly injured. That injury might lead to mortality, but that's the job you took on. We've got to do more of that, and unfortunately, it's like, sure, we came out with some black superheroes now, and I'm happy our kids get black superheroes, but at the same time I'm like, at a time where there are so many cops willing to gun
Right.
down anybody. You know what I mean? They've got to stop trying to program, I think, the general population, and they've got to figure out how to take that programming of the superheroes, like Superman, and whatever, the ones who don't kill the criminals, because
Uh-huh.
they find some way of knocking them out and whatever, because there's got to be a better way, because you're the superhero, you're the strong one, you're the one who's got all this training and a gun and a badge and a taser and a this and a that, you're the one who has all of that. This is just some idiot street thug. You should be able to beat them no problem without killing them. You should
Mm.
want to. You should want to prove that you can. And I think that they've got to figure out some way of um, programming that in. If they're not doing it intentionally, then they've got to find some way of programming that back into the cops.
I agree. I agree. But I'm really thinking that that this insurance it's just gonna hold everybody responsible, regardless of who you are, and it
Facts.
will take care of the citizens. You know, because
Facts.
it's just too many people that do not have the income that um, are the breadwinners of a family or whatever it is. It's just going to keep people more responsible. They're going to think twice, and I don't think when I say think twice, it's not like, okay, well, I'm going to lose my job. No, nothing like that. It's just that you have more people doing wrong than you do have people doing right. So that would just get them in line.
Facts. And you know what, Shar? To that end, because we mentioned doctors, but lawyers also have malpractice insurance. There's all kinds of different things where if you do something for the greater community, for the greater good of people, where your
Hmm.
actions can affect a whole bunch of people like that and whatever, you have malpractice insurance. Why not police officers? That's crazy. Absolutely. It shouldn't even be optional. It should just be built into your pay. Like, that's what it is. It's not that you're losing that money, it's that it automatically comes out of your pay anyway. And then you have it. And then it is what it is. And so, hey, you know
Yeah.
what? Yeah. And then what ends up happening is, see, they're not going to like the premiums that they start off with. And that's the thing. They're not going to like the premiums. And I mean, by they, I mean the city. Not going to like the premiums they start off with. Um, right? And the only way you can bring
Right.
down those premiums is to bring down police-related shootings, police-related deaths in your city. That's the only way you're going to be able to. So you're going to figure out some training, monthly training, weekly this, summer this. You're going to find something to bring those numbers down. You're going to go to places where there aren't this many deaths, this many cop related shootings, and you're going to find places that have been able to drop these things, and you're going to implement some new things because you don't like these premiums and your cops don't like these premiums. They're very unhappy with them. The only way, listen, think about it this way. If Buddy knows, right? If Buddy knows that by him shooting some innocent kid, everyone's premiums go up $200 a month. Everyone's premiums go up $200 a month. And he knows that. Imagine what he's going to feel when he guns down some kid who's got a cell phone in his hand. Imagine how he's going to feel. Because he's got to go back to the station and look that guy in his eyes that he's about to show up to the baby shower and tell that guy, you're about to make $200 less a year because I was a coward. That's it. Your baby's going to get $200 a month less all next year because I was a coward. That's what he's going to have to do. He's not going to want to do that. Trust me, he's going to think twice.
Right.
Right? Peer pressure is a bitch. We got to remember that. I'm telling you. It's a good plan. It's a good plan. It's a very good plan.
Yeah, I mentioned that another platform, and they say, hey, you might want to start a referendum for that. I said, well, I'm not really just talking. I'm serious. How can we do this? How can we get this going?
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably have to go in witness protection, but hey, I bet you it will work. I bet you that much.
Oh, 100%. Guarantee. Look, like I said, the peer pressure factor alone. When you know that, I mean, they're saying that people, they can keep people silent over horrible criminal things and whatever because of peer pressure, right? Because of peer pressure, because you are so scared of the repercussions. Should you go against the grid? I'm telling you,
Right.
making everybody, if five people in that precinct are irresponsible as hell, are cowards this year, that's $1,000 a month off your paycheck. Can you afford to lose $1,000 a month? The police are about to go bankrupt. Trust me, because the first $200, it's gonna be everyone's gonna be mad. Second $200, man, you're gonna hurt that second person. By the time you get to the third one, I'm telling you, you're gonna have the brass, the people above you. They are coming for you. Everyone's gunning for everyone now. Now it's going to be the most terrifying place in the world. Y'all do not want to step out of line even in an iota. Even an iota. You're going to need to see a suspect with a gun in his hand, and not just a gun in his hand, but he's going to need to be firing that thing at you. And there's going to have to be camera evidence of the gunshots before anyone's going to be allowed to take out their guns. Before they're going to be allowed to take out their guns. Watch. See, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
see, I'm fair with it. I'm very fair. I've thought about this, I said, okay, this is for everyone. Everyone has to pay. As a police officer, that's required. Now, as far as the amount, I said, let's do like a car note. So let's go with maybe 275 starting off. The first, I'll go with maybe the first 2 years or so. If you have an incident that, within your first 3 to 5 years, then it goes up. Your premium goes up to three something, and now you have to get the. I'm gonna say they're gonna start off with the minimum of the 3 million. First offense, okay, the 3 million. So you got that. After that, it goes up to 5 million, um, and your premium goes up to three something. Now, I hadn't thought past that because I'm thinking once they do something the first time, I think they're going to be done. I think they're going to stop right there. I really do. After that premium goes up to the two something to three something, I think they're going to like, you know what? Let me chill out. Let me actually do what I'm supposed to do.
Well, you know what?
So,
I think after the first time, we're going to find out if there's a systemic problem or not. And that is to say,
yeah.
is it controllable, or is it a matter of programmed in cowardice? Because if it's something
Okay.
controllable, it's just like, hey, like, you know what? I don't give a shit. So I'm gunning him down because
Hmm.
he's black. Well, we're about to find out, because it's just suddenly magically going to stop everywhere. Doesn't matter where it is. Doesn't matter how high the crime rate. It's just going to stop. Um,
Right.
if it doesn't stop and it starts bankrupting the police officers, then we're going to see that no, there is a systemic issue here. There's something bigger, like everyone's been saying. There's something bigger. There's a bigger problem, and it is not just on the police level. It's not on the police level only. It's on the training level. I don't know how many people have heard say it's on the training level. There
Hmm.
is a
Okay.
flaw, an inherent flaw in the recruitment. At the recruitment level, there is an inherent flaw. At the training level, there is an inherent flaw there. So before these cops ever get their first day on the job, it's already a flawed system. So there's a guarantee, and the problem is that um, I would say that when we see that there is a disparity in the number of police relating shootings in some
Uh-huh.
places versus other places, in some cities versus other cities, we could blame the citizens, or we can say, maybe something's failing there. Maybe something's failing there. What's happening at that department, as far as the training, as far as the recruitment there? Have you dropped all of your? So it's like, okay, Carib confirmed, yeah, they won't take people with too high IQs. Okay, but what if, what they did was they dropped their standards so significantly because they could not get enough decent cops in there. So they said, fine. Well, we just need warm bodies, so let's let them in.
Okay.
Right? Well, they're going to stop that process, right? They're going to stop doing that,
Hmm.
because at the brass level, eventually, at some point, what's going to end up happening is this: they cannot continue to penalize the cops directly, because they're going to bankrupt them. The cops are going to be coming to work for free. Nobody works for free. They're going to stop coming. Right? That's what it is. So then what happens is that failure is going to be passed to upper management, right? People who aren't on the streets, but who are managing the captains, and the whoever is above captains, and so on and so forth, right? So it's going to keep getting passed up higher. So your captain's going to be up your ass 24/7, because he needs y'all to stop bankrupting his ass, because he likes sitting on his $200,000 a year, right? He doesn't want to lose any significant portion of that because you can't stop shooting innocent kids, right? He doesn't like the idea of that. He doesn't care if you shoot innocent kids now, because it doesn't affect him significantly in any way whatsoever. It doesn't matter. He's got the warm bodies out there, the blue
Hmm.
lines protecting itself. Everything seems good. It starts affecting his paycheck. He's not going to like it. That's what it is, right? Like, and trust me, you do not want your boss up your ass like that. So, and they've shown though,
Uh-huh.
like, if you get someone who has a completely different belief system out there, they will start coming in and cleaning up house, right? That's what they do. Um,
Hmm.
so we know, even if you let in all the wrong people, and train them in all the wrong ways, getting the right person managing, the right person who's the boss of all of them, is going to make a big difference. So, I think that that's what it is. I think that, yes, we've got to have it at police level, but I do think that there's got to be some impact to your captain, right? So people who, once you've gotten off the streets and now you're at those higher levels, there's got to be an impact to those people, because they make more, first of all.
Right.
You know what I mean? But second of all, because every time one of their men fail, it's a failure on their leadership. So if that's the case, well, then we've got to start penalizing the captains. And then, you know what we got to do after that? And at that point, the captains, I think, are less likely to say, you took too much of my money, I'm bowing out, right? Because they want to make it to retirement age, right? And they've been working a really long time. They've been committed for a really long time. Also, they've got more money to lose, though. They can afford, literally, we can penalize them financially a little bit more harshly than we can the people below them. So it's like, each individual cop, when you're at the lower levels, maybe you pay $275. Okay. But then your captain, even though he's never on the streets, he's got to pay a bigger premium. He pays a bigger premium, and his premium goes up every time one of his police officers does a shooting, right? So there's like, okay, it's kind of like, okay, me as a driver, right? Okay. If let's say I live in Toronto. Me as a driver, I have a premium, $300 a month for my car insurance. Now, if I go and I smash my car into somebody, and I do that 3 or 4 times, by the time I get to next year, right? No, seriously, actually, I don't have to do it 3 or 4 times. Y'all know, you have any car insurance, you do it once, next year it's an extra $150, $200 a month, right? That's what they do. They try to bankrupt you with car. Well, you want to drive though, don't you? Right? So that's what they do. Like, if you want to drive though, don't you? Fine, take a bus. Oh no, okay, well, it's an extra $150 a month. That's what they do. And it's not just with that one company. Anywhere is going to charge you the same amount, right? Everywhere's going to charge you the same amount. But now here's what happens. If enough of us are reckless in Toronto, what they do is they put the premiums up everywhere. So now overall, if your address is in Toronto, your premiums will start higher than if your address is in Burlington or some other city, right? Because it's proven that there's a high number of people in Toronto who are reckless. Now, is it because they are bad drivers? Is it because the conditions in Toronto make it very hard to be a good driver? Who knows? Point is, if your address is in Toronto, so your car is going to be driven in Toronto, we're going to assume that you're going to be reckless. There's going to be more car accidents there. So we're just going to start you off with high premiums, even if you've never had a car accident before in your life. Even if you've never had a car accident before in your life, your premium is going to be higher because of your address. And when I say, the captains have to pay a premium there, I say that premium, that's why. They are basically the representative of their city. So, because you know what, you're a captain, or sergeant, you're a captain. Well, if the thing is that if your city's fucking up, right? If your whole precinct's fucking up, you are basically the city. You are the reason why. There's something that's failing in your leadership. So you're going to take a hit, because we can't globally make every cop, lose 50% of their monthly income on insurance. Crazy. Again, they're going to go home. But we can penalize their leadership. We can say they're going to take a hit. You don't like it? Well, then you better make your city safer. Make your city safer. You make sure that your cops stop gunning down innocent people. The end.
All right.
Just that was my 2 cents. I know I didn't say too much, but I just had to slide a little tiny bit in there.
All right, I love it. And so I was talking about that when you came in. I read some of the articles, and I only have one to close. And so, did you bring something that you wanted to bring up? Go right on ahead.
Well, it was not an article, but I'll wait. See, I don't want to bring it up though. I guess what I was thinking about. I brought it up a little bit yesterday, but I want to ask you. How do we come together as women? You know what I mean? And just uplift each other, because it's difficult. It's difficult to know what women to trust. Where a lot of us are conditioned. We kind of know what it's like out there, for lack of better words. So how do we know which women that we can trust, and how do we know which women that we can uplift, and give our support to, because we know that they're not going to bite the hand that feeds them, quote unquote. Like, what do we do to bring that to ourselves, to our own lives, and to start building our own little mini communities and stuff.
Hmm. Now, you mean digitally, or do you mean where you live,
I'm
city to
gonna
city? How are you thinking?
I feel like it would apply across, across, if it works digitally, it may work city to city, or within your community. But let's start digitally, since most of the ladies who are going to roll through here have probably experienced the issue digitally, and they're kind of like, I don't know, I feel like an island. I'm not really sure if I should even be here, because, well, y'all are women, and I know what the women are about on here. And so, how do we know? What do we do about that?
Hmm. Well, let me see. What the first thought came to mind is interest. What are you interested in? And I will start from there. Are your interests self improvement, um, education for your children, yada, yada, yada? So you find your like mind people there. So you can find that on the ground. You can find that digitally.
Mm-hmm.
So once you do that, who got what going on? Are there functions? Where do they meet? How often do they meet? How do they communicate? And then that's what your interest is. Hey, that's where you start supporting. And you will expand eventually because people come together automatically. You have, you may start off with um, parents trying to deal with their children with autism. They start off there. Next thing you know, it goes into sports. So now you have the parents with the children with autism as well as um, children playing sports. And so now you got two groups working together and you're helping each other, you know, you're mentioning women, but I'm just saying parents because not all mothers are parents alone. So you will have a better chance of expanding that way because you're not just, my opinion, you're just not going to stick to just that one uh, area. You're going to expand because you're going to need some help, whether it's fundraising, whatever type of events you're putting together or supporting, um, research, whatever that involves, whether it's donations, um, whether it's trying to find a cure, volunteer work, um, or whatever it is. So it'll start small, so it'll be concentrated. Start small with your interests, and it will expand from there. Now, that's what came to mind with your question. Now, you can tell me if that's what you wanted to know or you're thinking bigger.
No, I love that. I love that, because that's such a great place to start. I think a lot of women don't know, once we get out of high school. I think people in general, once we get under the fishbowl that is high school, where they force us together, and so, well, you make connections with people out of just pure boredom and survival. And then you get out there into the wide world, and it's like, how do you make people? Right? How do you get associated with people? I don't even know. Like, I don't know anyone anymore. Um,
Wow.
right? Yeah, it's sad, especially if you live in a city. A lot of cities these days, people don't even look at each other as they walk by. Like, what does a
Mm.
person look like? You walk by 50 people today. Can you describe one of them? Nope. I don't know. There was black ones. There was a couple white ones. But what did they look like? Were they smiling? Were they unhappy? Nothing very like, like, we don't look at people. We don't talk to people. So that's a great thing, and especially for young ladies, I think that
Mhm.
around the 25 to 30 age, it's a really difficult time, because you still have that I will say younger need to associate and establish yourself socially. But how? And so, I think that's a really good place to start, at least, reaching out, connecting to people. Now, how do you know so you get into this group, right? Let's say I find, I don't know, Psychology Anonymous, right? So all
Okay.
these other psych buffs like me, we all love psychology.
All right.
We love debating and discussing. No one likes to shut up. It's great, right? We're all of a like mind. All right. So
Okay.
then, how do I know from there? How do I know, or how do I make how do I know that this is the right person, that I can make a personal bond with, like a one-on-one bond with, and this person could be a good friend. Like, I should allow this person into my life, not just because I think I like them and they're funny, because I could like someone and they're funny, but secretly they got borderline personality disorder and they're trying to, learn lots about me so they can cut my ass down, right? Like, how do I know that, it's no, she's trustworthy, and you know what, I can personally bond one-on-one with this woman, and it's okay. It's okay for me to give her a piece of trust, and see if she deserves that even. And like, because that's how I work. See, but the thing is, I fail.
Okay.
I'll tell you off the bat, I fail at this. I cannot give women guidance on this, because my overall method is, you know what, I jump in, I dive right in, head first, everything, and then I'll just find out if it's a shallow end or not, once I get in there. Right now, that is not a good tactic. Okay, I do not recommend it. This is how people get brain damage. You do not dive in first and then figure out if there's a shallow end. I know this. I know. I can't stop myself. We are who we are. I'm 35 years old. I've been doing it. I got all of the scars and, internal injuries and whatever to show you. Trust me, I got scars all on my liver, my kidneys, everything, lungs. But I'm gonna say that the average woman, is a little bit more, wary than that, and I think that's a more intelligent thing. So how do they know? How do they know who to trust?
Um, this is the only way I can answer it. Uh, um, you don't.
Great,
Ta-da!
love it.
So
Yes.
let me explain that. And not only do you do not know, you should not be too concerned with it. And I tell you why.
Mm,
You do what you do. Okay. So let me give you a timeline from age, let's say 16 to 25. Okay, so you're 16. You got what you got? Is that prom? No, it's not prom. You have something go on. I can't even recall. It's a shame. But you got something going on you're interested in. I forgot what it is in school. Then you're about 17. Now it's prom time. So hey, you got your interest there. You've made your friends. You have whatever social groups that in sports and all that kind of stuff. So you have friends there. All right. So then you branch off 18, you go to college. Some don't. Some just go to work. And then they get out there in the work world and see how different it is. So I got to get here on time. The hell? I hit snooze. My bus was late. But
mm-hmm.
why you coughing down my neck? I was just 5 minutes. It's just 5 minutes. So you'll have some shock value, some shock right there. Then you have those who just want to feel good, and feel good could be recreational drugs. I got to work on that word. Some could be drinking, some partying, some sexual. You have all these different things. So you have now at 19, 20, these people are branching off. These were your friends in high school that had to go to school and get the grades and all that because their parents made them. Now they got a little bit more freedom. Now we're beginning to branch off a little bit. Okay. And then the boys. And it depends on what age, women, young ladies started to be interested in boys. So now you got more branching off. So you have all this going on. So now let's say you get 25. Those five good friends that you got one has a child, she has no time for nobody. You have the second one that has a relationship that has no time for anyone. The
Mm-hmm.
third one in college, she's in another state. Fourth one, she's working and in school. And then you got the fifth one lives down the street from you. So y'all still hang out. Now she's a little shady only because she can't get a hold of the drugs and stuff that she's doing. You still love her and all of that, but you don't hang out with her as much. All right, so during all this time, you've met people while you were working, while you were going to school, whatever you got going on, you have your own thing going. So you're still meeting people. Those five good friends, you may not see them every day, but you talk to them every week, every month, or whatever it is. You still have them in your life. Some you're going to branch off from even further a few years down the line because it's life. Either it's going to be by choice or just circumstances, whichever one. Now you got these other new people in your life as well. You're getting closer to them. Some of them you left alone because a couple of them could have been boyfriends. They broke your heart, didn't work out, they're seeing someone else. You decide to leave them alone, you seeing somebody else. You switch jobs, you're about to switch cities, whatever. So what I'm saying is life goes on. So you can't be so concerned about, oh, if I get close to this person, oh, I can't trust them. You can't be concerned about that. Those wheels keep on turning. And so do you. People gonna come in your life, they're only there for a season, and then they're gone. Some you choose to want to hold on to that you know you need to let go. Some are going to just let you go. It's life. There's nothing you can do. You may shed a few tears along the way, but that's okay. That's life. It's all right. You're young. You're 25. You're gonna meet some more people.
Mm. Mm. You know, just literally flipped this idea, this whole entire topic on its head. You see
Huh?
why it is we need to seek wisdom. We need to seek wisdom from those who have it. Because I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone address it from this perspective, and yet it makes so much sense. We know this. We do. We know this. Um, and we know this about relationships, right? When you
Mm-hmm.
look back to that first love that you had that only lasted 3 weeks, but at the time was going to last forever, and it was the most important thing in the world, right? Like you're a little heartbroken too, and you were never going to. The world was never going to be a whole place without that person in it. Can you name that guy? Probably, but if you can name him, tell me 5 things about him. You don't know, right? Like, like
Right.
the guy isn't anything. Um, and if you think about it, name all of your friends in grade school. Can you? No. Um, you know, but they might have been your best friends. They might have been, your compatriots. Y'all thought you were gonna ride or die forever. Um, and then you didn't, and then you got to middle school and you met new people, maybe, or then high school you met new people, and you became. It's not that you started hating each other. You just, your interests changed, you changed, and y'all drifted
Mm-hmm.
apart and drifted into new places. Um, and then we get to adulthood, and it's almost like we forgot that. We forgot the fact that we keep drifting into kind of, a reason, a season. You got some lifetime friends, certainly, that once you meet
Mm-hmm.
them, that's it. You're bonded for life. But you're not going to find that many, and that makes so much sense. Like, not everyone has to be, a lifetime friend, ride or die, best trust keeper till the end kind of friend. Not everyone needs to be that for them to be a friend and for them to be someone that you enjoy being around and maybe experiencing things with.
Uh-huh.
I like that. I like that. All right. I think that was a great answer. It was a great answer. Thank you. That gave me a lot personally think about as an individual. And also young lady I was speaking to about this definitely gave me a new perspective to come to her with. I love this. I'm gonna have her listen to this. This is amazing. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, young lady. Okay. Yeah. So, what else you got? You got the floor. I'll come in at the end and do our little. I have a new segment, and I call it Judge and Jury. I
Mhm.
and whoever else on the panel is going to be judge and jury, and I'm going to read something that happened, and I'm going to give them a sentence. I'm gonna give them a sentence.
Love it.
Some
Love
going to
it.
agree. Some going to like, hey, that's a little too hard. Doesn't matter. We're going to be the judge and jury. So there you go.
Nice.
So if you have another topic, go right on ahead.
Nice.
One.
I love it. Um, you know, I would say I actually have one thing to say. So I don't know if you've ever heard of her. Her name is Lovely Peaches,
I have never heard of her.
right? Me either. Now apparently she's somebody. She's been someone well known on Instagram, like social media. And
Okay.
now the reason why I became aware of her is because BMT contacted me and said, "Hey, listen, this is a really rough topic I'm doing. My wife was doing it with me, but we had technical difficulties, and by the time I got it back online, she's got to go. So, will you cover this topic with me?" And I'm like, "I've never heard of this chick before in my life, but this story is crazy." Now, she's a young lady. She's 18 years old. She's only 18 now.
Uh-huh.
She's been a social media star lit for a few years, or known. At least articles have been being written about her. Uh, and I mean, when I say she's despicable, she's despicable. She's a despicable girl. She
Oh,
became popular on YouTube. I don't know if you know this, Shar, because you might have been able to just miss knowledge of this little trend. But back when people wanted to be famous for being infamous, a lot of young girls were doing really gross things
oh
on
yeah.
on video for likes and views and whatever, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
uh, Lovely Peaches got famous for eating her own tampons and eating her own feces and stuff like that. So disgusting. Um, for
Lovely, huh? Okay.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I know. Lovely Peaches. Ugh. On top of that, for self-harm, she uploaded pictures of herself having sex, which of course would be kiddie porn because she was under the age of 18, which did get uploaded to porn sites for the record, sadly. And on
Mhm.
top of that, she videotaped herself really and then uploaded it, abusing her own dog and abusing her own baby. Yes, her own baby. Now,
Mhm.
what happened is apparently some people who I guess were following slash watching who caught wind of her did try to create a petition, and not to try to get her channel taken down, but to try to track her down and get her some mental health help services, something, because clearly something wrong with her, is the way
Mhm.
that they saw it, right? I don't think they try to pursue criminals so much as they were trying to, I guess, help her.
Mhm.
Now, basically what happened is she disappeared. First of all, no one had been able to find her for a few months, which means of course her baby disappeared. No one has been able to find the baby. She came back and now she's got this 3-part confession of all that she really did to her baby, and the part where she murders her baby, but she won't tell anyone where the baby is, and she's not getting arrested because basically she doesn't, without a body they won't arrest her. So she's on the streets right now. She's posted this confession from a few months ago. um, no one's arresting her because they don't technically have proof of that crime, although I would love for someone to produce evidence that they know where the baby is, period. Um, yeah, now this is one of those things, I really I tried to find information on where is that baby, because if she posted this online, and she's known, and now they know her real name and everything. It's not like, she's like a non-known entity. She
Uh-huh.
said this. Why would the police not knock at her door and say, okay, well, just for the record, where's the baby? And she's still walking around. Now, my thing is, did she really kill this baby? I don't know. Did she make up this wild, crazy story for attention, and really the state just came and took the baby? I don't know. I can't say 100%, because again, I don't understand how the police would leave her outside on the street otherwise. But and I mean, the abuse that she was hurting this baby almost from birth. She's very, on one side she's mentally ill, on the other side she's bitter and she's mean. And she basically was allowing men to assault her baby, to come in and sexually assault her baby, everything. It this is such a terrifying set of circumstances. But my thing is that she's been online the whole time telling people she's been assaulting this kid, and nothing happened to her. Never arrested. Never. Where's children's aid? Where's anything? No one came in and did anything to this chick. Nothing. Now the family's sitting there talking about how they always knew that there's something wrong with her, and now they're sad and appeals to the public and stuff like that. But my thing is, how did no one do anything? How did
Now,
no one? Hmm?
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, how did nobody in her real life, how did no one watching this chick? They watched her do it. It's not like she just was telling stories of her hurting her baby. She filmed herself hurting her baby. Why was there no repercussions? Why did Instagram, all the social media she was on, why was she allowed to keep all of this stuff up? Why? How could this happen?
Well, I just Googled it and I see why. But anyway, um, one reason, I'm guessing, I don't know, is possibly no one went the proper channels to report this. Um, that could be one thing. Nobody went through the proper channels.
Mm,
And if there is a child in the home, just one phone call to CPS will do it.
mm,
That's all it takes, just one call. Um, Now you said family. What family is that? Because it seems like the family is all right, with the lifestyle that she's living online, especially if she. And you said she's only 18, or she's 18 now.
She's 18 now.
Okay, so the family was okay with it. They were fine. Um, and where does she live? Does she get enough, um, whatever support from social media to live on her own?
She
Where's
lives with
the
she
father
lives
to
with her
the
mom.
child? Oh, okay. Well, they're fine. They're fine with it. Now, I understand that it's terrible and it's not a good thing. And it's, what about the kids? Yeah, I love them all. But that mom, the mom is okay. Grandma is all right with what's going on. She's, some kind of way, she's profiting from it. It has to be some type of profit. You don't do that unless you get something out of it.
Mm,
So grandma is profiting some kind of way. Maybe she's getting her nails done.
mm,
Come on, mom, let's go get our nails done. Something mama getting and she likes that she can't get on her own.
mm-hmm,
That's my opinion. I don't never, don't know the woman, but she's, getting something out of it. I
mm,
would not be, that do sound cold, but so I would not be too concerned. But as far as with the concern, the only thing you can actually do is, report, violence and all those type of things that you see online. That's all you can do. Uh, and once you do that, it's out your hands. So I don't know, again, if because it doesn't seem like people went through the proper channels.
Mm.
So that disappearance just could have been, uh, I don't know. There's some problems there. I don't know all of them, but there's some mental problems there.
Mm-hmm.
The child, who knows? Maybe the father came to get the child. I don't know. That's something else. Now what I want to know is what was your role supposed to be in what um, you were asked? What was supposed to be a discussion or supposed to talk to her? I mean, what was going on with that when you
Do you mean
first was introduced to the situation?
oh, you mean when we were watching what on BMT's channel?
Right. What sparked this? Was this a conversation having about her, with her? I mean, because I didn't get that part of it.
Oh, okay. So he played part 3 of her confession. So let's listen to this story and basically discuss it. For me, with my psychological perspective now, is this postpartum? Because people were saying that this is a matter of postpartum. Is this actually mental illness? Is this just dysfunction and hate? What is, I guess, from my perspective, or based on various areas of the tape as we're playing it. Let's pause and let's discuss these different areas and what comes up.
Okay.
um right. So now, see, the thing is, I think that there's probably a good chance that she did have postpartum, because part of postpartum does involve you not bonding with your baby properly. So when you don't bond with your baby, you don't claim it. um
Hmm.
because you don't have to necessarily give birth to a baby, an infant, for you to have that bond, that parental bond to it. You bond to this baby. There's a moment. And at first, it's just harassing you and it's just ruining your life. And then there's that moment. And then suddenly, parental, everything is everything, right? Um, but some people don't go through that for a variety of reasons. And one of the reasons is postpartum. Um, and because they never create that maternal bond, this baby is just a nuisance, is just a problem, is just a headache to them. It's almost like your parents
Hmm.
giving birth to some baby and then telling you it's your problem. Like, why? I don't want a baby. I didn't. What the hell? Why do I have to get up and feed it? It's not mine. Like that, right? um,
Hmm.
that's problem number one. Problem number two that I saw in this story was exactly what you said. I said it too, and I'm glad I was there to say it, because I'm not sure that men would see things in the same way. But the first thing I said was, listen, there is no way. There's no way, because the first story that she told, she was talking about how she was hitting the baby. The baby was crying, whatever. Woke up her parents because she was mad that the baby woke up at 3 a.m. like it does every day, to eat, I'm assuming, or to change. You know what I mean? Like, babies wake up at reliable times. Um,
Hmm.
but she was mad, and so she hurt the baby. The parents came running. Now, she didn't want her parents investigating because she didn't want them to see the bruises on the baby. And she said this, right? And so at first I was like, okay, yeah, maybe they don't know. But then she goes on to say on more than one occasion how much she hated this baby and hated spending any time around her ever. And she went very far out of her way to make sure she never had to spend time around the baby. Okay, well, if that's the case, then that means someone's watching the baby. So if someone's watching the baby, we don't hear about a father ever for this baby. Who do you think's watching the baby? The parents. So if her parents are watching the baby, then you can't tell me what she does. All of the vital, she makes sure that she feeds, she does all of the diaper changes, she does all of the bathing, but otherwise she doesn't watch the baby. No, she doesn't do any of the hard stuff, right? Which means the parents are. So you think what, they don't see the bruising, they don't see the cuts, they don't see any of that. um I mean, this girl all was talking about how she was cutting the baby's nails, and she didn't want to, I guess. And well, but that's what she said. She said she accidentally did this, but I'm telling you, she didn't want to. And she wants to punish this baby and ripped the nail, took the nail clean off of the baby's finger. Now you're trying to tell me what? The parents thought that was an accident? No. But I think that they knew, and I don't even think necessarily that it was that they were profiting. I think it was like mother like daughter. I think her daughter, Peaches, is this way because her mom was this way. Because her mom let the boyfriends, because I mean, she was talking about how this baby at 6 months was flirting with her man. And she could see that this bitch was a hoe and da da da. So when her man sexually assaulted her baby, she saw that that was the baby was not a baby. She's talking about this baby like it was a grown ass woman hitting on her man and then sleeping with her man. Okay, that's how she was speaking about her infant who was 6 months old. And so she said, well, she's gonna be a hoe. I'm gonna make money off this hoe. Now, she's talking about an infant. It doesn't make sense to talk about an infant this way unless you've been hearing some grown ass persons talk about you like this your whole life. And that's what I think. So I think that this mother did the same thing to this girl when she was very young. And now that she has her own girl, she's doing the same thing. And she couldn't wait to get started because that is how fractured she is from her upbringing. Now, is she mean? Is she cold? Is she cruel? Is this like an excuse like, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing? No, she knows exactly what she's doing. I'm not saying she doesn't know what she's doing. She knew exactly what she was doing, but this is why she's doing it. It's a culture that she got passed down from mother to daughter. Why was her mother like this? I don't know. I can just talk about that, and I could say that there is no bloody way that you have grown men assaulting your baby, selling her for money, and the adults who are your kid's primary caretaker don't notice. There's no way.
Right.
So obviously, it's more than just that they must know. But hey, here's a little hush money. Because this is some egregious shit. This is normal. This is normal. To that mother. Whatever man she's got in her life right now. This is normal to her mother.
Yeah.
And that's why nobody did anything. That's what it is. It's this cultural thing. And so, because you have to remember that we're talking about a kid doing this to her kid. There was one adult in that whole house, and that one adult was failing in about 600 different ways, and nobody said anything. Nobody did anything. And see, this is the thing. This is where it comes down to, and I understand this. I understand we live in a very violent world. We do. We live in a violent world where there's a lot of repercussions for you doing the right thing and whatever.
Uh-huh.
But it comes down to like, come on. Come on. How many times can we sit there and shrug our shoulders and go, not my problem?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is why they have anonymous tip lines for things, man. And like you have to go all down to the station, sit down somewhere. People are gonna see you walk up into the police station. You know what I mean? So now they know you're a rat. It's like all you gotta do is make one anonymous phone call somewhere where no one can
That's
hear
all.
you. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
You know. And I mean, I know chicks that sit there and make those anonymous phone calls all the time. Trust me, they don't know it's you. And I know that because these chicks are calling on people who didn't do anything wrong, right? They're just
Mm-hmm.
mad. You know what? Oh, fuck this bitch. Well, I'm going to tell on her then because she did this to me and I didn't like it. So now I'm going to go tell on her that her man, who makes 5 times, he makes $70,000 a year, is living with her. But I'm going to go tell on her and whatever because children's aid don't know that and the government don't know that and I don't want her getting her welfare and her baby bonus and whatever, so it's okay. I'm gonna go call these people. People do it all the time. Trust me, they will not know it's you, I promise, because if they knew, then they would, when they figured out for sure that you're an asshole, because that's often what happens, they would come for you, but they can't because they don't know it's you. It's anonymous. Go
Right.
do it. Go report somebody. Trust me. Don't say, well, the mama would say something, because what happens is you're giving credit to everybody else. You're giving credit to that ain't shit mama of this ain't shit mama of this baby. That somehow the ain't shit mama gonna do something, and No, we got to stop giving credit to other people. I'll say it like this: I am a citizen of the world. Okay,
Okay.
this is how I feel. Um, so it doesn't matter if I am directly blood related to that baby or blood related to that kid or not. I care. Now,
Uh-huh.
my level of care and my level of what I am personally willing to do and what I'm personally willing to sacrifice, as far as, money or even health, well-being or whatever for the sake of that kid might vary based on, I don't know how much I, you know, know them, or how much I see myself in them, whatever it is, right? So it might vary. But the point is I still feel like if I see something wrong, I have to say something. I do. And the thing is that at the same time, I understand. I understand because I've known people who had children's aid. Well, sorry, what do you guys call it there? It's like, okay,
CPS,
CPS
Child Protective Services.
services. Okay, and ours is children's aid. Um,
Okay.
so so yeah, so when you have CPS, um, there, right? And someone calls. See,
Mhm.
now it threw me off because I used the wrong word, and my mind's trying to be like, what the hell CPS again? Like I just, and then is it CPS? I can't remember.
Yeah, Child
Child
Protective
welfare.
Services.
I would go
Oh,
child welfare. Really? Let's go child welfare. It's like an in between
okay.
here. All right.
Okay. Them
Right, but
too.
yeah, them too. Whatever, whoever it is that'll help the kids. Um, right? When you call someone to help the kids, that's the important part. You gotta recognize here that I know people have had these systems called on them when they didn't do anything wrong. They honestly
Yeah,
didn't. Um,
right.
and it's not like, oh well, they spanked, like, it's not even like, oh, they spanked their kids and corporal punishment is wrong. Someone thought something, because I don't like you, so
Yeah.
I'm going to call on you, or you know what I mean, whatever. They've
Mhm.
had these systems wrongly called on them, and it kind of sucks because once you have a case open on you, eventually they will close it, right? But it's always there. It always exists as, like, it's like a criminal record against you, right? um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so, and I mean, this is a good thing if you some ancient parent, for the sake of the children, because how many goddamn cases could you have open against you, before they start saying, I don't care how many times you went and investigated, it looks like there's not a problem. There's got to be a problem. One thing might be a personal vendetta, but 12, like, nah, there's got to be something going on here, right? So, I get that. I get we don't want to necessarily hurt one of our own either. I get that. I get that we don't want to help the system take kids away from good parents. I get all of that. But I do think that, we're forgetting uh, these kids. We're forgetting these kids. We have to have some care for these kids as well. And I don't think that there's an acceptable loss factor. Well, it's okay. That's, we have 1% of our kids this happens to, as long as the other 99% aren't going to be, potentially. What the hell is wrong with us in pronouncing words today? Potentially. Um, yeah, okay, potentially.
Yeah, I just have to
Um,
work on it.
yeah, right. I don't know if I've ever said that word wrong. I'm not even trying to say it again. It's so hard today. Um, we don't want to potentially, yes, affect, the innocent parents, just to make sure that they're not one of that 1%. And I don't think that that's an acceptable loss factor. I don't think 1% of our kids is an acceptable loss, especially when along the way there's so many more 1% times that we're going to have that everyone is saying is an acceptable loss, to the point where we have way too many lost children. So, I do think that, if you see something, say something. If you know something, say something. If you're one of those
Hmm.
ape shit losers who says something just because you're mad at somebody, I hope you burn in hell. I hope someone catches you and does what snitches are supposed to get, because you're snitching. You're dry snitching, but you're dry snitching on innocent people, and that's not cool. Um, but for everybody else, like, yeah, if you see something, say something, and if you know something, say something, because there's a lot of people who know. It's not that you wonder. It's not that you saw a little something, so something real bad is happening, and you didn't say something because you're not supposed to. Snitches get stitches, all that stuff that I just said. But nah, like you got to recognize is that when you don't say something, you create Lovely Peaches, and Lovely Peaches has children. Just saying. And remember that if you think, well, Lovely Peaches got through. All right, she lived. You're right. So I guess the person who didn't snitch on her mama, what she doesn't have to feel bad because the baby didn't die. Well, no, she does because she didn't say anything. Lovely Peaches was created, and she's not just some feces, tampon eating, disgusting human. She's an abusive person who did worse to her kid than probably was done to her. So, and then everybody who didn't say anything about either of these two situations,
Mhm.
you have yourselves, you are part of the blame. You were part of the blame because you could have stopped that baby before that baby ever got raped. That's 6 months old. I know you all knew something. There's a bunch of people out there who knew something. I mean, something real that could have stopped this, but you didn't say anything.
Yeah. Wow.
Think about that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I never heard of her. Um, Definitely something is wrong, and the proper people were not contacted. So that's what I take out of that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Wow. All right. Well, it is about that time. So I will share my screen. I'll put the story in here. Boop. And then I will share my screen. Sharing is caring, everyone. Sharing is
Mhm.
caring.
It is. The
All
Care
right.
Bears share a lesson in caring. Sorry, go ahead.
So it is now time for judge and jury. That's our segment here. And I will give you the short version of the story, and then I'll render my judgment. Yeah. This is from November. No, that's not true. That's today's date. How dare me? This was from October.
Mm.
Yeah, well, last week's. It was still October last week. So this is from October, like 23rd, something like that. A story I found. And the story reads the edited version that I put in here. Federal lawsuit Dover police captain is alleging he was passed over for a promotion because he is white. Yeah, you heard me.
Pardon?
Yeah, you heard me. Yeah, he had a lawsuit alleging that he was passed over for a promotion to be police chief in 2017 because he is white. Yeah, he filed charges of discrimination that also alleged retaliation, which was dismissed this summer by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. So the EEOC threw this out. I'm sure they laughed when he left. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure about it. Oh, yeah. And he is now seeking compensatory and punitive damages. All right. Let me get started here. Now, this man is going to get passed over because he says he's more qualified. He has this degree, that degree, this amount of experience, and all that. Now, in all my days of working, a lot of times some people had those qualifications. All right, I got outside noise. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Sometimes you have people that are experienced, but they don't know how to talk to people. They do not know how to function. Um, all kind of different personality problems they have. So just because you're qualified for the job and it has something to do with dealing with people, you may not be best placed in that job. But he brought all his documents, his papers and stuff, and he said, look at me. I went to this school, that school, I did this, I volunteered this. He had all his paperwork. Now I'm exaggerating on that, but I'm saying he had his credentials, and he said that you turned against me, and you passed me over, and you took this black dude to be police chief because he's not white. Now I bet you, if I would have interviewed this guy or the people that was involved, they would have told me that this guy is a jerk. He doesn't know how to communicate. He could smell all kind of things going on. I don't know. But just because you're qualified for a job, it doesn't mean that you're actually qualified for that position. You may not be the best fit. That is possible. But he had the balls to actually go and try and pull this. Yeah, that's right. Pull this stunt with the EEOC. I said, wow,
Wow.
you got to be kidding me. This is what I'm going to order for him. That clown can go sit down somewhere, go find someone that will accept him with all his credentials, lick his wounds, because white is not always right. And that's my judgment.
Facts. Facts. If I could just add in the words of Lovely T, he can have a tall glass of what? Shut the fuck up. Okay. That is all. What the hell? That's amazing. Greatest story ever found. Greatest judgment ever passed. The end.
Yes, that's what I got to say.
Wow.
And with that, about time for us to close. And thank you everyone for coming through. Thank you for everyone that's listening to the replay. Thank you, Ruby, for stopping by. Great conversation. I really appreciate it. And any final words for you?
No, but thank you for having me. It is always a pleasure. And ladies, I know y'all are watching, including you, Carib. I expect to see y'all up here next week. That's all I got to say. And yes, I mean you.
Don't be scared.
Right? You know, you don't bite hard. Right? Austin Powers.
And with that, until next week, we see you guys soon. And peace.
Cheers.